Angel Reese had her worst professional basketball game, and I'm not even stretching that out. That's not me trying to be overly elaborate, trying to really make it sound awful. No, she was bad. 0 of 8 from the field, 12 rebounds, of which I believe 8 were offensive. It was a terrible, terrible showing.
With a score of 0, Angel Reese just gave one of the most awful performances in NBA history. For 8 from the field as her own supporters betrayed her in real time. Officially, the Chicago Sky's combined 60-point deficit after 2 games is the worst start in league history.
The Chicago Sky are already imploding from within. Fans are turning on the team. Camila Cardoso, oh no. Free Camila Cardoso. She is fed up with the Chicago Sky experiment. Tyler Marsh, once again, salute to you. You are doing the rest of the league a favor.
However, the fact that Reese was occupied with missing layups and getting rebounds off her own awful attempts makes this scenario even more bizarre. How come Reese's fans are mocking her in a humorous way after Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever recently recovered with a victory that has their supporters more thrilled than ever? Comment Baby Goat below if you're on Team Clark, and Baby Giraffe below if you're on Team Ree. Come on, let's go.
Angel Reese threw 2 games, 5 of 22, with 10 turnovers. The Sky's minus 60-point differential is the worst through a team's first 2 games in WNBA history. Do you understand that's the worst first 2 games in the history of the league? Oh, it's bad. It's real bad. Coming from a Sky fan, Angel Reese is the worst basketball player I've ever watched. Woo. Woo. My goodness.
Considering what transpired during the Liberty game, missing 8 consecutive WNBA shots isn't simply a case of bad luck or a bad night. The mathematical probability of going 0 for 8 when you're supposed to be elite is almost 0, but you know Angel Reese, she makes the impossible look easy, or the opposite is true, she makes hitting easy layups look horribly impossible. Professional basketball players at this level typically shoot about 45% from the field.
Turnovers. The whole team stinks. Chicago Sky fans are officially going to war. They can't stand Tyler Marsh. Think he ought to get run out. And let's just start here. Let's start here. Worst plus minus in all of the WNBA is, in fact, you guessed it, Angel Reese. 9 out of the 14, bottom 14 are Chicago players.
After Camila Cardoso missed a shot early in the game, there was a scenario that wonderfully encapsulated Reese's entire night. Reese grabbed an offensive rebound, which seemed good so far. However, she missed the putback attempt. Nothing happened, so she got another rebound and missed another putback attempt, which was still manageable. She then missed a 3rd consecutive putback attempt before losing possession, which resulted in 4 shots in 1 possession and 0 points.
Angel Reese, part 33! Let's get it!
Only lost by 25 this time!
Bang!
That stuffer coming hot with the stats. She went 0 of 8, 5 turnovers, and she got 1 hit stick.
Bang!
She had 12 rebounds. 8 of them were the me-bounds, if you know what I'm saying. All right, let's get it going. How about it?
Bang!
Again, there's another me-bound. Let's do it again.
Bang!
Another me-bound. Do it again.
Bang!
Another me-bound. One more time.
Bang!
Wait, you're allowed to pass the ball?
You know what exacerbates the situation even more? Jonquel Jones blocked a few attempts, but the majority were clean looks that Reed just couldn't finish. The Liberty's defense wasn't even deliberately trying to stop her because she was performing her duties. The majority of these weren't contested shots against elite defense. Instead, we're talking about layups and putbacks that high school varsity players regularly convert.
Reports came out that Camila Cardoso was sold on the Tyler Marsh signing. Rumor came out that Camila Cardoso wasn't excited, wasn't too pleased with how Teresa Weatherspoon was using her last year. So when she heard Tyler Marsh, when she got a sniff of Tyler Marsh possibly coming on board, they talked, laid out the game plan. Camila Cardoso was bought in. Cardoso was drinking the Kool-Aid, eating what Tyler Marsh was feeding her. But again, sold a fake bill of goods.
When your own teammate starts acting as though she doesn't want to be associated with your performance, you know that things have completely gone awry. This is where it gets interesting with Cardoso's reaction during that brutal sequence. Cameras caught her leaving the group after Reese's third consecutive miss. Her body language screamed frustration, literally separating herself from what was happening.
The person who should be throwing temper tantrums on the Chicago Sky, that person should be this woman right here. That person should be Camila Cardoso. Look at the frustration oozing out of Camila Cardoso. She gets a switch. Natasha Cloud, she's posting her up. We can't get an entry pass to Camila Cardoso.
Let's discuss the 12 rebounds that Reese was able to grab. The problem with stat padding accusations is that they usually originate from somewhere legitimate, but a sizable percentage of those rebounds were from her own missed shots. In other words, she was essentially creating her own rebounding opportunities by missing everything she threw up, which isn't basketball impact. Rather, it's mathematical recycling.
No problem.
The worst part about this Camila Cardoso last night is you seeing her visibly giving up on her team here. Look at this. Look at this. Camila Cardoso literally walking towards the New York Liberty bench. Walking towards the New York Liberty bench. Like, hey, Brianna, Sabrina, scoot over a little bit. Let me take a seat. Hey, Sandy, is there any room on the bench for me? Can you guys use an extra player? Can I switch jerseys and see how I fit on this team?
As the game went on,
she got her own rebound
it became
again and missed
clear
another
that the
putback.
Liberty's defensive strategy was working.
But then she missed a
They
third
weren't doubling
consecutive
Ree
putback
or
attempt
sending
before
help
finally
defenders her
losing
way.
possession.
So why would they?
4
She was
shots in one
consistently
possession,
missing
0
wide
points
open
to show
looks,
for it.
so their strategy changed to simply letting her shoot and grabbing defensive rebounds when she missed. When you think about it, this is actually brilliant. Let your opponent waste possessions while you concentrate on everyone else.
I'm gonna tell her when you travel, you need your real ID now! Bang! Free throws ain't free! Bang! Again! Bang! Alright, brother, who at the zoo is responsible for letting the giraffes out of their habitat? How many steps was that? Traveling! Bang! Does a fly and Angel Reese have in common? They both get swatted. Bang! Green company reached out. They said, I want to sponsor you. I said, you don't have my flavor. They said, what's your flavor? They said, butter pecan. Bang! He's shooting 23% from less than 5 feet from the basket. 4 of 17 from right there. What? Throws are fundamentals. Bang! What did she do in the offseason? Bang!
Every missed shot contributed to the historic collapse of Chicago. The worst start in NBA history is shown by the Sky 60-point gap after 2 games. The main cause of this organizational catastrophe was Reese's personal inability to score. You can't build winning basketball around a player who can't make layups in pivotal situations. However, Nick Wright's assessment following the game, Angel Reese needs to be better at basketball, summarized exactly what everyone watching was thinking, not that she had a bad night or that she would get back up. It was the simple truth that a professional basketball player needs to actually be good at basketball. The performance was so embarrassingly bad that it set off an unprecedented chain of events where Reese's own fans began turning against her in real time on social media.
Angel Reese needs to be better.
Yeah.
At basketball. I'm not talking about as a person. I'm not talking about as a podcaster. I'm not talking about as at the Met Gala. She needs to be a better player.
The speed of this digital pylon was truly astounding. We're talking about a complete narrative flip occurring in real time. Within minutes of the final buzzer, social media turned into an absolute roasting session for Angel Reese. Fans used Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as battlegrounds, letting out their frustration in ways that would make professional comedians jealous.
you do have Sky fans that are turning on Tyler Marsh. They're screaming that Kennedy Carter should be back on the team. Angel Reese should be off the team. It is getting, what's the saying in baseball? It's getting late early. It started out real damn bad. Y'all's perimeter defense was horrible. I mean, Stevie and JJ were held on their points. Y'all got a lot of work to do. Y'all have let shooters, but y'all got shooters, but no scorers like Carter was. Lost by 35 and then 25. Trash.
You know what's especially cruel about the situation? These were Chicago Sky supporters who had supported Ree during her rookie struggles just a year earlier. The change from giving her time to develop to saying she doesn't belong in this league happened faster than her missed layups against the Liberty, and the former defenders began questioning every aspect of her game, work ethic, and basketball skills. These weren't just any haters or fans of the opposing team causing the harm.
The Chicago Sky don't want to win. Angel Reese needs to come off the bench. She's terrible. She doesn't do anything to help the team win or be better. Please keep letting her be great, a great point forward. She isn't. Take 3-pointers. Bring back Weatherspoon. Man, they're going to war. They're going to war. I mean, wow. This right here, this woman. I think Reese is supposed to be playing in the Special Olympics. Wow. Wow. Good thing we got rid of Kennedy Carter and all that scoring power she had. 0 for 8. Angel Reese sucks. Boy, it is not good.
Fan criticism's inventiveness peaked at legendary proportions. When a fan said, "This Barbie is broken," it went viral right away and inspired hundreds other memes that were identical. "Girls out here snatching rebounds like exes snatch hoodies," remarked another supporter. Fans were creating very humorous content at Reese's expense, aptly expressing how her rebounding figures felt more like stealing than authentic basketball performance.
Thank you, Coach Tyler Marsh. You were single-handedly exposing Angel Reese's lack of ability to play basketball. By the way, that's kind of weird, but could he know this was going to happen? Did he know this was going to happen? I mean, that's interesting. Free Camilla. Look at this. Throw me the ball. Never mind, don't. I mean, God.
The most damaging tweet, however, said, "At the end of the first quarter, Angel Reese has 0 points on 0 for 5 shooting. 5 of her 7 rebounds are on her own missed layups." When people throw shade at her, it's because this is how she stat pads. This was because fans began using actual math to support their claims. Fans started figuring out percentages and counting the number of rebounds from her own misses. This was data-driven destruction rather than emotional criticism.
Where the hell is Angel Reese at? She needs to explain some shit. Sky fans are not happy that she did not show up to this press conference. On another episode of Ass.
When supporters started bringing up high school and collegiate players who could finish better around the rim, the comparison became extremely personal. Former supporters reached a breaking point where they began to wonder if Ree belonged in professional basketball at all. One user bluntly said, "I don't know if you understand how bad you got to be setting records for how bad you are in the WNBA." Some supporters posted highlight reels of local prep players making the exact same layups that Ree was missing in professional games, and people saying she's as good as Clark became a common refrain that stung because everyone knew it was true. "How is she that bad?" was the question posed by another. These were sincere questions about how someone could perform this poorly at the greatest level, not complex takedowns.
Sky fans, it was going to get interesting because you would start seeing the basketball fans rise to the top and the Reese fans start separating down towards the bottom. All right? Get your podcaster to work on layups. I mean, She is so bad. There, of course, is the embarrassing offensive rebound, missing layups, yada, yada, yada. Guys, it's ugly.
Fans turned Caitlin Clark parallels into razor-sharp weapons, pairing every failed shot with a Clark highlight.